Happy Saturday, folks. Let me know if I'm 5x5, please. I'm trying to get this microphone adjusted here, son. Decided to switch it up a little bit. I was doing some writing earlier, and I'm at my kitchen table. Not out in the office. Thank you, Benjamin. The intro rocks. How's everybody doing on this Saturday night? Sound good. Thank you for that, Maria. I don't have a mouse, so I'm going to try and grab comments as I can. It's going to be a struggle. Thank you for the FJBs. I always love to see those. Y'all know that. Oh, man. Is tonight when John is giving the $100 bills away? Well, brother, they ain't worth nothing anymore. Not that I have any to give out, but they're not worth all that much. It's like a half a tank of gas in the car now. Donna, we're going to get into it in just a moment. Preppers are definitely in serious trouble. Hopefully everybody's having a great Saturday night. If you're brand new to Shotgun Saturday Night, it's very low key. It's more of a hangout. It's more of usually more of backing away from the SHTF and just having fun. Unfortunately, we're not doing that tonight. Casey Little Owl, how are you doing, ma'am? This came in on a super chat Friday morning. We were live, remember? And it was right at the tail end. I missed the super chat, and I caught it on the replay, and they were asking about Norway. I didn't know anything about it. So I did some digging around. It took a while because I had to translate a lot of stuff with the Google Translate and stuff. And Homestead Homeboy, what's up, brother? And so here's the deal. Norway next year, for those that don't know, I didn't know, maybe some of you do, they are going to implement a program that tracks all purchases of food digitally. They want to know exactly what is being bought, where it's going to be at, so in other words, if I'm buying it, they know my address at this point. They know it's there. And Norway apparently is leading the rest of the world. This intel is linked down below. And when I saw this, I said, because folks, we live under tyranny right now here in the United States. Newsflash. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. If the folks in DC are paying attention to Norway, and I believe they are, it's only a matter of time before they try and implement something similar. They're probably already working on it. Now, the case they're making in Norway is they want to know about buying trends and stuff like this. And they said it's no different. And I need to bring this up because they're right about this. They said it's no different than here in the United States using like the discount cards and stuff at your local grocery stores. So if you use these things to save 10 cents here and there, they know your spending habits. They know who's buying what. So I need to bring that up because they're correct on that. And it really got me thinking about that, okay? And I'm not trying to discourage anybody from using those. It's kind of a catch-22 because right now people cannot afford groceries. I mean, groceries have went, the inflation is through the roof. They said it was 8.2. I think it's higher than that, or 8.6. It's higher than Snoop Dogg, son. The inflation is through the roof. And people need to shave pennies where they can. But at the same time, it really got me thinking, especially about preppers. If we're going that route, we're giving that information away. So what I'm going to encourage you folks to do tonight is the next time you're out grocery shopping, if you're going to use one of the discount, I don't even know what they're called, like the Savers cards, discount cards, like at Food Line and stuff, don't buy in bulk. Do not shop like a prepper if you're going to do that, because anything that would throw up a red flag, if it's not already being done, it's going to be done soon, very soon. You're going to be placed on the list. And I think of a world where there's not enough to go around, and they need to know who has what. They're going to be able to populate lists. I don't care what Norway is saying. This is why they're doing this. They're doing it because of the food scarcity. Okay, now that's kind of getting into the reset and everything else, and the digital stuff. Okay, but they are implementing this, I think, early next year. They've already got the program ready to go, and it kind of coincides with the food shortage. So if there's a food shortage, which there is, here in the United States of America, they are not going to, oh, time, I'm so sorry. They're not going to let that go. They're not going to. And when I say they, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm talking about the folks that run things, the Pelosi's and the Schumers and the McConnells. They're not going to allow us to have any more freedom than they have to. These people are tyrannical. This is my opinion, but they are. And if they see something where they can seize even more control, they're going to do it, especially if it coincides with reset. So from here on out, please be careful about what you're buying in bulk. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, drawing eyeballs, drawing attention your way, going through, and some of you don't care. I get it. You know, going through with 50 pounds of rice, 50 pounds of beans on down the line, sugar and salt and stuff. That's going to draw attention from your neighbors, from your community. But now we're getting into the point where databases are going to be kept of people that are, I guess, overbuying or hoarding or whatever the case may be. And if this stuff runs out or it runs low to the point where it's going to run out, they're going to knock on your door. That's probably going to drive my dogs in there nuts. So we're in serious trouble. Now, the stuff that you've bought up until this point, I don't think that's in trouble unless you've been using a credit or debit card. Hopefully, you've not been doing that. If you've been paying cash up to this point, you should be okay. But I've really been thinking most of the day about these discount cards and stuff. And is it worth it? I don't know. Y'all tell me in chat. Is it worth it to save? You know, you may save $5 or $10 on a $200 grocery trip or $250 or whatever. Is it worth them knowing everything that you bought and where it's going to be kept at? Because they have your address, they have all this information. Al Bundy says, no, ma'am. Only for gas, Lily. And you're correct. Some of these programs offer like discounts on gasoline and stuff like this. They're very appealing programs. And again, right now, when people are pinching pennies, it does matter. But at the same time, how much information are you willing to give up? That's why we did the poll tonight. Little Miss is not worth it. Gas only outdoor with James. A couple of people are saying I'm starting to think it's not worth it anymore. It's a huge red flag when I was reading through. And again, I had to translate this stuff coming out of Norway because originally I thought, you know, there's no way something like this is getting ready to go down. But thank God that person left that super chat and I caught it on the replay. And as I'm translating it, again, it made sense. I'm like, wait, this is already going on to a degree here in the United States. Our spending habits are being tracked, but I mean, how much effort would it take for them to populate a list of people that have bought, you know, 100 pounds worth of wheat or 100 pounds worth of rice in the last 90 days? It's probably not going to take a lot of effort, and then they can pinpoint who has food. So it's just something to keep in mind moving forward. We're in trouble. If they try to implement this stuff and force this stuff here in the United States, and I believe they will, if all goes well and there's very little resistance in Norway, they'll try it here to some degree. Now, the resistance in Norway, it's weird. According to the article, the resistance is coming from some retailers. Most of the citizens there don't seem to care one way or the other. They're not resisting at all. They're fine with giving it away. And I hope that us folks in the prepping community handle it a little bit differently. And you shouldn't be okay with giving away everything, you know, and some people do. Randall, the moderators, thank you for being here, by the way. The moderators here are not flagging anything. Some of the stuff that gets put in chat, unfortunately, YouTube will flag it automatically. The algorithms, they focus on keywords and stuff. Keywords that you type in and keywords that I say into the microphone. And that's, you know, that's just communism. That's how that works, unfortunately. This is a world agenda. I agree with that. Oh man, let's see. This is a world agenda, and it is something that is coming, but I don't like the idea of not being able to circumvent it, if you will. And up to this point, using cash and not using a discount card of any type, you're able to circumvent it. You're able to go in, buy in cash, buy in bulk if you choose to do it, if you don't care about the eyeballs on you, and then get back to home base. If they implement a system like this, there's no way to circumvent it. You know, you go to an Amish store, it's going to be recorded what you bought. If you go to any store and buy anything of significant prepping value, because I don't think it's going to stop at the groceries. I think once they get people used to this, it's going to be other things. You know, are they buying generators? Are they buying anything that throws up a red flag? Ammunition. I mean, I've heard stories from some people out there where they will get visits from people in suits if they stack too much ammunition during a set period of time. So they do pay attention to this kind of stuff, and it looks like they're starting to pay a whole lot more attention to it now that the food is getting short. Black markets will follow. I agree. I think they will, and I think the best way to use said black markets is to barter or use precious metals. You can make an argument for crypto. Not a crypto expert by any means, but there is a way to move crypto around without being online. Yeah, somebody just said they put us on a list. Let's see here. They put us on a list Friday after buying all the ammo we bought. They do. They keep up with lists if you're buying a lot at one time. You're absolutely right. But I don't like the idea of getting down to the point where if you buy one box of 22 ammo, now you're on a list, or you get down to where you're buying, 10 pounds of flour, they slap you on a list. This is scary stuff. I mean, we're getting into 1984 at this point, and it looks like it's coming. It's going to start in Norway again. That intel is down below, and it's not an obscure website. I said, well, maybe, this is just a fringe website, but on the intel, you can click it and it goes to the actual, it's a state-run company through Norway. You can click on it. Now you're going to have to translate it. You have to hit Google Translate or whatever. Then you can read it, for yourself straight from the source. They are going to roll this thing out probably early next year. Yeah, we're Oath Taker. We're on lists. There ain't no doubt about it, but I want to be on as few as possible, especially when it comes to the food. Rodney, thank you for that. John, I work at a gun store in Illinois. We got to keep records on all ammo for 20 years. So if you're buying ammo, if you're stacking ammo, thank you for that intel. I would say just buy a little bit here, a little bit there. Not to call you out, Bama Jen, but I know you just bought like a pallet full or something. You're definitely going on a list if you do that. Nothing that's going to raise eyebrows. Kind of accumulate it slowly, if you will. But then again, some people just don't care. And they'll tell me in chat, I don't care. I'll strap up and go in and tell them it's none of their business. So, do whatever you want to do, but keep an eye on Norway. This is the kind of stuff that goes on while we're being bombarded with the nonsense news. This is stuff that actually is going to affect people. And your mic is crackling some. You're kidding me. I may just have to break down and get a new one. I don't know why it would be crackling. I got a red light. Red light's good on this. So I don't know. But I wanted to mention that. I do think I should have said sloppy preppers are in trouble, in serious trouble, because if people are not paying attention to their buying habits at this point, you're putting yourself in danger. The people around you are paying attention, and now it looks like a lot of authorities are paying attention as well. Thank you, Daniel. We good. So Russian troops are now going to be deployed in Nicaragua. What does this mean? This is kind of a background story with the witch hunt that's going on and stuff like that, right? Well, this is bad news because these are, number one, these are actually Russian troops, not Russian-backed troops. Number two, Nicaragua is striking distance. And I think that they are doing this. Russia's moving pieces around the board. I've said for a while, this thing's going to escalate. It's going to get global. We are going to see a World War III, and they're just positioning stuff in a threatening manner. But at the same time, I don't really blame them because it's nothing that America hasn't done to them or other countries or NATO. So that is something to keep an eye on. I don't have a list of everything being deployed. If I found a list or numbers, I couldn't promise you they'd be accurate anyway, because Russian state TV is not always accurate when it comes to numbers and stuff. So the Ukraine 7, just a quick war report, if you will. You can check this out on Al Jazeera. They have the maps and everything. But remember last week we were talking about the 7 in eastern Ukraine, and I'd circled it on a map, and I said, this thing's going to crumble. It is now crumbling. The Russian-backed troops are making advances, and now Zelensky's pleading for more ammo. He wants more funding. He wants more ammo. He's saying, this is going to affect the entire world, if the West doesn't do something about it. And at some point, I ain't trying to be cruel, but at some point we got to stop paying for this proxy war and just let it happen. Stuff like this has got to happen. I don't wish ill on anybody that lives there. The citizens really have much of nothing to do with it, but they've had months and months and months and months of advance warnings, and they've had time to get out of there. So I don't know. What do y'all think on that? Lee, the standing law, it would have to be signed, I think, by a president or a governor. Yes, they can show up. They have to leave you, I believe, unless it is changed, they have to leave you and your family 72 hours worth of food, and they can confiscate anything else legally. And I say legally, I don't think it's legal myself. But Six Shooter, what's up, brother? Hadn't seen you, man. How you been? But yeah, that's the standing law that's on the books right now. They're not above doing it. You can go back to Hurricane Katrina. There's some older videos from Katrina on YouTube still where they were going door to door confiscating, I believe, firearms. They had a list of all the firearm owners, the legal ones, and they were just going in. There was a lady, she was in her 70s, maybe early 80s. They knocked her in the floor when she refused to give. She had a revolver. They knocked her down. It was like an NBC report or something done on this, and they forcefully took it. So they're not above it. Believe me, they are not above it. When there's a crisis, they show their true colors. Right now we think there's civility and everything's calm, right? But one crisis like the pandemic, for example, the civility goes out the window, and these people, these tyrants, they show their true colors. And when I say they did this, Hurricane Katrina, I'm talking about the National Guard and local law enforcement. They were working in unison. They inspect, I did not know that, Robin. They inspect homes in Denmark randomly, no warning. My bestie got fined $2,000 for copying music to CD. You're kidding me. Boomer, thank you very much. Your views on a cashless society in less than 2.5 years from now. I think that some of the world's going to see it 2.5 years from now. I think it might take a little longer for the United States to implement it. They may jump the gun on it. I think they're going to try and do it by 2030. I don't know if it'll be within 2.5 years, but we're going to see a major push by then for it. They're phasing it out. Night of the Living Prepper says cashless is here in 2023. So it may very well happen. China style. Let me grab the comment there. It is amazing how many people don't pick up on that. It is amazing to me how many people don't see the influence coming from China here in the United States, and how many things we're beginning to incorporate. We're supposed to be a free country, right? But a lot of things that they do in China, like the social credit, for example, we're starting to see here in the United States. It's not good. William, how you doing, brother? If shortages pick up, then rationing will start. If rationing starts, then tracking people's supplies will be more likely. I agree. And so now, I would encourage you to get what you can get. Most of you have been stacking, grow, be able to produce your own stuff. But at the very least, when you're shopping, just be careful about those little bitty cards, those discount cards. To me, they're not worth it. Speaking of shopping, I've had several emails since yesterday on Amazon and Walmart not being able to fill orders. People will order online, and then when the stuff gets shipped, it's either being replaced or it's just not there. They're being refunded. And I had one lady over on Patreon. She's having a time with Amazon right now. She ordered some Augustin Farms. It shows as delivered. It was never delivered. I think they're going to refund her money, but it's getting to the point where they can't fill all of the orders. And it seems to be with specific things. There's certain survival items they're not being able to fill, and survival food is a huge issue. And this is Amazon and Walmart. Tammy says Walmart has done that to me. Now, we've ran into the experience where we'll order online. We do this sometimes, not all that often, but we'll order online. We'll go to pick it up, and they just don't have some of the things. And they'll come up to the window and tell you we didn't have this. Walmart's a social experiment. Well, it's gone wrong if that's the case. Casey, we're getting the orders coming, then delays. We've seen a lot of delays via Amazon, then refunding the product back up with increased prices. Speaking of increased prices, I didn't write this down. That's good intel. I've had people say, look, I went into a store to buy something and I come back out and the gas has jumped up 20 cents while I was in the store. Sam's Club, I really haven't heard about Sam's Club or Costco, the discount cards and things. If you're using a Sam's Club at the register, we used to have a membership. It's been a couple of years ago though. So I can't remember if you need it at the register or just get into the door. If you're using it at the register, yeah, they know exactly what you're buying in bulk. And certainly if you're online with it and you're marrying your card to it and stuff. It's happening to other people apparently, so it is a big deal. Brian says, how long until people act out in response to all of this en masse? Great question. The midterms are going to be nasty. I don't know. I think if Patriots are going to stand up, it's probably going to be after the midterms if things are just thieved out in the wide open. And if they don't act out at that point, I don't have a second tie. Daggone it. I didn't bring one out here. We're usually not this busy. I will start Monday morning. We're going to be live streaming. I'll start with a tie. How about that? That way I don't have to go out there and grab one. But thank you for letting me know. I had no idea. I thought there were like 600 people in here. I have a question. And I know Bama Jen has seen this on Twitter. Those that follow me on Twitter have seen this already. So they've been hammering this well-regulated militia. You must be in a militia in order to own a firearm, basically. But at the same time, now they're also saying that militias are extremist groups and they need to be put in jail. So I can't figure out how we're supposed to, by the left's definition, own a firearm. Do we become an extremist or start a militia or something like this in order to own a firearm? Or are we just not allowed to do it, period? It seems like they're throwing a bunch of double talk down. And I don't understand it. If somebody can explain it to me, maybe we have a liberal in here. I ain't going to hate on you. I just want to know what y'all are expecting from us here with the gun control deal. I'm new to this channel. Kiki, welcome. Yeah, Honeybee, I agree. It's not up for debate, but they seem to be debating it a lot. And they keep going back to you need to be in a militia in order to own a firearm. And I'm like, well, how can you do that? Because you folks are witch hunting the militias right now. And just because somebody's in a militia, they want them arrested. So what are we supposed to do according to the left's definition? I agree. It's not up. It's not up for debate. It shouldn't be. I don't know how we got this far. Militia kids car wash. I've never seen one of those. They're usually sports teams around here. Um, I think some states actually have state militias. You're right. Some of them do have like they're probably different in different states, like defense forces, militias, and things. You are correct on that. Um, and they do try and debate that point. Again, I don't think it's up for debate. Me personally, I think the well-regulated militia means the citizen population, the gun owners, the ones that bailed out, the blue coats back in the day. But the left does not seem to think the same thing. You know, they don't have a definition apparently, but you're not allowed to own a gun. That's what they're saying. Infamous, thank you very much. What the left wants to know is who's about that life. If you're going that route, you'd better be about it. That's the point, to call out who wants it. Fair enough. I think what the left is about threatening people and kind of bullying people into being quiet. They don't want any more protests at the Capitol. They don't want any more protest. They don't want to hear from the right anymore. They want to totally eliminate the right from the equation. And you work, you pay taxes, you keep your mouth shut, and they run the country. That's really what they want. They're not going to say that, of course, but when they try and debate, it seems like they go in circles and it makes no sense. You know, I had somebody debating me earlier. What's up, Dynamite? How you doing, brother? I had somebody debating me earlier on Twitter, and AOC had put out a tweet or something, and she was blaming Republicans for all of the violence in the cities. She's like, these cities are in Republican states. And I'm like, this stuff ain't rocket science here. The cities in question have had Democrats in charge for 30 plus years. That's the issue. You take a community run by a conservative sheriff, conservative mayor, or whatever, and you pop it up against the other one that's liberal run, you're going to see a huge difference. Honey Badger, how are you doing? So anyway, not to be rambling or anything. So do y'all think China will invade? We talked about this on Patreon earlier. They have now threatened the United States in the wide open. They ain't playing games when it comes to Taiwan. They said undeniably they're going to light up anybody that comes over there and tries to interfere with Taiwan being a part of China. And I do think they'll do it over there. I don't think they'll invade here, but they're willing to protect Taiwan. I think China and I think Russia, I think they're done doing this, politically speaking. NATO's doing a bunch of this, the countries in NATO, our own government's doing a bunch of this, and the sanctions and the nonsense. I think those two countries are done playing games. And they're towing the line now, and they're saying we're willing to fight. Russia's doing it now. I think China's big bark. Okay, maybe big bark. I don't think they're gonna. Who said that here? I don't think they're invading the United States. I don't think they have to. I could be totally wrong. McBean, how you doing, man? I could be totally wrong on that. We could see a Red Dawn moment from China, but it's a waste of resources. I don't see why they would waste the resources when they're buying our country from within anyway. The rambling man. Yes, Al Bundy. The rambling man. So I had someone inbox me and ask, John, what are you going to do for, 50,000 subscribers, which that's still a long ways off. And honestly, I can't believe we're even talking about it. I can't believe we've even grown to get even close to 50,000. So I thought about this for the past couple of days, and I said, well, we could do a giveaway. That's the typical community deal. But as I was thinking about it, I said, I've always told people here, this is our community. So I think what I'm going to do, if and when we ever hit 50,000 subscribers here at Prepper Nation, we're just going to have a chat like we're having now, and we're going to have an open link. And I'm just going to drop it, and anybody that wants to come up here and promote their channel, tell people what their channel is all about. If you're a creator, if you're not a creator and you've been here for a while, hop on. and we'll chat with the rest of the folks in chat. I may just sit back and let y'all chat. This is our channel. It always has been. It always will be. So I think that would be a blast. It would probably be immediately flagged as soon as Charlie jumped up on up there, and a couple more that ain't playing. Red Tyrant's another one. They'll flag it immediately, but I really don't care if they flag it or not. Just to have a fun hangout, and instead of just seeing me on camera saying, "Oh, thank you," and all this stuff, and then give away some cheesy prize, have everybody, hop up and say hi and introduce their channel, introduce themselves. I see a lot of creators in here already. I saw William in here, and Casey, of course, and McBean. So, maybe just jump up here and tell everybody about your channel for a few minutes. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. I'll go back through and I'll read the comments we get done here tonight. Jumping in the chat in a minute. I just want to go over the poll real quick. How much are you willing to be tracked for the greater good? 7% of y'all really said, track me, baby. Track me. Okay. 17% said it's a little. It's 2022. I think realistically, you're going to be tracked a little bit. So I agree with that. 2% say a lot. I love free phone games. At least you're being honest. Because when you download something on the phone, man, you're giving away all your rights at that point. 75% say you are untrackable and you don't exist. Okay. Wilson, IB Math, thank you very much. I can't believe you haven't hit 50,000 yet. You should be well over 100,000. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's nothing that y'all have done here. I ain't making excuses or anything like that. Maybe people just hate the channel, but a lot of people get randomly unsubscribed over here. It does happen a lot. So it is what it is. I ain't really a numbers guy anyway. But it's pretty, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty exciting to be hitting 50,000, to have that many people actually care about what you have to say. Randy says, my real name is Ralph. Well, there you go. Yes, red right. Let me see here. We need to talk about that since you brought that up. I have a floor robot vacuum that I've named JB. It doesn't clean. It runs around in circles, constantly gets stuck. I've wondered about these things. This is the conspiracy theorist, I guess, in me. I've wondered about those little robots. We don't have one. I wonder how hard it would be for this thing to map a floor plan of your home out. Just saying. I don't trust any stuff like that. Outdoors with James, I'm sorry to hear that. I got unsubscribed last week. It happens to a lot of people here. I don't know why, honestly, but when that happens, it kind of throws the channel down in the basement, and we have to crawl back up. Beaver back here hanging on the wall. I don't know if y'all saw that or not. I trust nothing. Totally appreciate you too, Amelia. Thank you very much. But we'll crawl back out, and then they slap us back down to the basement. It's a game that we play here with the commies on YouTube. Jelly Bean, I don't have any ties. I didn't bring. I almost forgot to bring this one. I wasn't anticipating 1,000 people, so this is kind of mind-blowing. Let's see. The survivalist. Russia and other countries need to do is limit oil and food access across the borders. They're doing that already, and people will fight, infight, destroying us from the inside. So again, this is based on information coming from Russian state media and NATO countries' mainstream media. So take it all with a grain of salt. Who knows what's going on? But from what I've heard, Russia has targeted the ports. I kind of figured they would. They're stopping food from being exported out of Ukraine. At the same time, I've also heard that they're sending it to allies, countries that they would be fighting with and things. Now, I don't know if that's going on, but certainly Russia has admitted they're not sending oil to certain nations, or they're forcing them to pay in rubles, which circumvents most of the sanctions that they got hit with. Their economy hasn't collapsed because so many people need their fuel, and forcing them to pay with rubles is actually a really smart deal to where their economy doesn't collapse. Raven Prepper, I agree, John. Those floor robots in general, there's something about it. It's not natural, son. But those robots mapping stuff out, I don't like it, especially if you're going to be bunkering in, and that's your one and only. Oh, that was a great question. Where'd it go? Kelly, anyone else think it's past the time to ditch our cell phones? Kelly, they have their uses. I absolutely hate cell phones. I hate technology. No offense to y'all. I'd rather us be doing this somewhere in a conservative coffee shop in person. I don't like technology, but I especially hate cell phones. I hated them around the time they went from cell phones to mobile devices. Because they started packing a lot of other stuff in there, and that other stuff is there specifically to track you. I mean, there's no two ways about it. To track where you're at, your spending habits, your information's being sold, the whole 9 yards. So no, I'm not a huge fan of them. And I ain't here to sell Battle Box tonight or nothing, but the bag that came in this month's Battle Box, the black hole bag, I'm in love with that bag. It totally works, and it was $50. So, that kind of helps out. Like if you're traveling or something, and you can get bags at other places or even make your own, but that is one way around it without being tracked. Of course, your phone and stuff's not going to ring if somebody calls. Well, we need one. Tomorrow says there's not a coffee shop big enough for all of us. Well, we need one. My Lord. Kelly, there's a strange vehicle outside of our house. Number one, that's not good. Hopefully y'all have boomsticks. Number two, does it have the YouTube logo on it? Because they are probably watching us in real time with this many people in here. Don, excellent question. Why do these actors think their opinions matter? Matthew McConaughey says down thumbs. VR Lab Girl, how you doing, ma'am? So we touched on this the other morning. I don't really know why their opinion matters more than anybody else's. In terms of Matthew McConaughey, I think he's a decent actor. I'll be honest with you. But at the same time, outside of the acting, I really don't care what the guy has to say. For those that don't know, I listen to rock, Evanescence, Amy Lee. She's getting political. I don't care about her political beliefs. I'm there for the music. This is what turned me away from sports. I don't care about politics when I was trying to watch sports. And so you're absolutely right. If I want politics, I can turn on the politics anytime. It's all over TV. But Prepper Nation, can you have me on so I can explain to the nation how digital OPSEC works? I'll tell you what, brother. Let me drop my email down here. I'm a slow typer, sorry. Ken pecking over here, son. VR Lab Girl, representing the coffee club tonight. There's a little side hustle going on for the coffee club. I saw that, man. It does suck. Somebody, who was that here? The Bitter Critter. It sucks. I can no longer even watch sports. You can't, because you get hit with, and I don't want to hear about conservative politics either when I'm watching sports. Not what I'm there for. And it's really turned me away from sports. But I've had time to focus on other things, so it's a win-win. Where's The Rock and Josh Brolin? I don't see. That's the thing. I don't even know who Josh Brolin is. I know who The Rock is, obviously, with their support of Biden. How could anybody support Joe Biden right now? That's a legitimate question. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Maybe somebody can tell me how you could support Joe Biden. I don't know. How can anybody support Joe Biden? Not saying that Trump is perfect, but when he was in office, people said he's going to get us into war. He's going to crash the economy. He's going to do this. He's going to do this. He's been gone for 2 years. we're basically tied up into a proxy war. We might as well be. We're funding the thing. Joe Biden's writing blank checks to Zelensky. So we're in a war, I would say. You can't find half the things you're looking for. You can't afford them. You can't afford gas in your car. There's a shortage on labor, teachers, everything. I mean, the country is upside down. And who else is to blame? He's trying to blame the war in Ukraine for everything. It's literally his fault. Trump stood there and predicted. You know, they keep talking about January the 6th. The only thing I'm concerned about with January the 6th is gas was half of what it is now. This is what normal people care about. You know, distractions aside for a second, people care about how much groceries cost, how much their medicine costs, how much the gas tank takes to fill up, stuff like this. And it's just something Biden and many Democrats, they don't get that. They want you to care about insignificant stuff. My opinion. He's just an NWO puppet. All planned for over 25 years. Alex Jones was right. They'll flag me for saying it, Bama Jen, but I don't care. Alex Jones is right over the target about half the time. This man stays on them like white on rice. It ain't no wonder they tried to ban him from all the social media. I mean, he seems like he would be fun to have dinner with too. You know what I'm saying? But he's right about a lot of things. This dude seems like a prophet or something. Alex Jones is a national treasure. Now, I've also had people say, you know, that Alex Jones is compromised, and I don't know this for sure one way or the other. But at some point, man, we got to believe in somebody, right? We gotta push our chips in on somebody at some point. Everybody can't be compromised, can they? I mean, maybe they can. Oh, his recent. Please tell me this is not Alex Jones you're talking about with Mike Tyson, because I'm immediately going over to pull that up if that's the case. Mike Tyson. Please tell me you're not talking about Alex Jones. You might be talking about, oh man, Joe Rogan maybe. I don't know. If you have dinner with Alex, don't expect to get a word in. No. But the man, how can I put this? I've seen so many interviews by this man. He never stops talking, but it's like he's talking from another dimension. He sees stuff. He's put together so many clues, and he sees stuff on a different level, like most people could never understand. Yes, Alex Jones, Bama Jen. I'm gonna watch the replay of this, but I got to go straight over there and watch that first. For some reason, I did not know that they interviewed. Let's see here. I appreciate that. Just subscribed and loving this channel. This is our channel. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. No, Wes, I do. We've had this discussion. I don't want to run for president. I've met several people that are in the chat now. Dynamite is still in the chat. I'm guessing I would vote for him in a heartbeat. He would get it done. He would get it done like this. I'm voting for the man. And you know, if we were talking about the 50,000 subscribers, the asylum, Dynamite, if you're still in here, brother, I may have you up on panel with me the whole time to run security. That's a serious offer, by the way. Tilton Rear. I'm sorry, Tilton. That name still gets to me. You know this. Jill will vote Republican if Joe runs again. Well, the Democratic, like the figureheads and mainstream media, they're trying to distance themselves. I seen somebody today said we just need to cut the anchor in 2024, get away from Joe Biden because he's sinking the ship. Yes, somebody said they would vote for Rudy over at Alaska Prepper. I would too, man. He's such a humble guy. Y'all don't even know. A lot of you follow him. If you don't, you should. Outside of YouTube, I've spoken to him many times on the phone. He's just a humble guy. And I love him to death, man. How are preppers in trouble? The intel is linked down below. We talked about it at the beginning of the live stream, but it pertains to Norway and what might be coming here next. Papa's Farm. New people, welcome to the Beaver Dam. And you're surrounded by beaverines, and I'm sure some of you are going to want to know what beaverines means. I'll let somebody explain that in the chat, but it's kind of a mascot here. Ark Nanny, how are you doing? Could receipts be used for tracking? Janice, I think that's what you're asking. Could receipts be used for tracking? I would think if you used cash and you did not use like a discount card or a club card or something, no, they would not be able to track it. What's happening in Norway? Andy, they are launching a program at the beginning of next year that is going to begin monitoring all food sales throughout the country. They're the first to do it. They're kind of leading the world, if you will, in this, and a lot of countries are going to jump on board. And this is really, really, really bad news for preppers because, of course, we target certain things. And we like to think we're smart and we know what to get, but the government's also smart and they know what we're going to get. And so by certain buying habits, they're going to know you're a prepper and they're going to know you have a lot of other things as well. If somebody's buying beans, rice, wheat, sugar, and salts, for example, they can identify you as a prepper. At this point, they're going to know that you have boomsticks, maybe generators, maybe solar, maybe you're producing, and you're going to be targeted at that point. I'm sorry to hear that, 123J. I just shut down my trucking business today. I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm assuming fuel costs, but I'm not sure. Sorry to hear that. Virginia, I hear masks are going to be mandatory again. Well, see, here's the thing. That, as much as that bothers me, it doesn't bother me nearly as much as the tracking of the food because I can avoid the masks. You know what I'm saying? I can stay home or I can go to areas where they're not going to be required. With the food tracking, there's no way around it. There's once they put that into place, again in Norway first, but it'll come here to some degree. Once they put that into place, you're either producing your own food 100% or you're being tracked. There's no in between anymore. Right now, you can use cash, kind of incognito style, and you're in between. Yeah, somebody, let me see here. Where's that? Okay, Lord Eagle, you know my stance on things from my comments. If it hits the fan, if I yelled out beaverines in battle, yes, absolutely. That's something else for the folks that are here that are new. You know, all viewpoints are welcome. You do not have to be a conservative. We're not extremists or whatever. We're here to have, it's not an echo chamber. People are going to disagree on things, and that's totally okay. Secret Squirrel. We could go a lot of places with that name. Hey, John, what you going to do with that Telegram channel? The Telegram channel is linked down below. The guy that edits my books, Daniel, he is moderating over there. I do hop in there sometimes, but there are a few beaverines over there already. So, yeah, it's active. It's running. Big T, what's up, brother? Bigfoot on the endangered list. I will tell them I'm feeding them. Georgia Country Boy, that's okay, man. Sorry it's been a while. I've been hiking, getting my wind back. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I need to be doing more of it. I've been going and walking some, and then I walk some with my son also. We kind of spend time together and walk like that. But I need to do more of it. Michael, that is the $1 million question. Do you think they'll take away our guns? I would hope, and I can't speak for everybody in chat, but I would hope that that is a line in the sand for people. I do think that they're going to come after certain makes and models. They seem to be keyed in on the AR. They couldn't identify one to save their life, probably, but they you could lay down an AK and an AR, and they couldn't tell you which one was which. But they want the AR. There's something about the name. There's some mystique to it. They're coming after that. I think they're coming after, high capacity magazines. They're coming after a lot of stuff. But this is what they do. It's a long deal where they chip away, and all this. They want us to the point where we have black powder rifles, and that's it. And I should hope, I can't speak for everybody. It's a line in the sand for me, and it had better be a line in the sand. Sarah says it had better be a line in the sand, because once they get those, you are completely at the mercy of your government. And look at your government now. Look how dysfunctional the government is. They can't carry out basic things. Look at the chaos going on right now. Look at the police response time, which is almost 9 minutes nationally. 9 minutes is a long time if somebody's kicking your door in or trying to get through your window or something like this. We have to have a way. It ain't about deer hunting. We have to have a way to protect ourselves. We have a God-given right. Brenda Hobbs, I know it's crazy. It is crazy. I guess we need to live stream more on Saturday nights. Who knew? KJ, thank you very much. Bill Gates wants to cut of course he does. I'm probably going to get flagged, but of course he does. Let me put this up on the screen here. Let me find it. Yeah, there we go. To cut the population to half, the WEF, there is a plan. They don't talk about it much, but it is out in the open. You can do a deep dive on the internet. You can find they brag about it. The WEF brags about this plan on their website. So you're absolutely right. You're not making it up. The question is, how are they going to cut it in half? Could be food, could be a super bug or something like this. That's the $1 million question. Go check out Gates' new germ team. Yeah, this dude is a clown. And not a medical expert. I don't know. This is always blown my mind why people line up behind this man and trust, life and limb when it comes to their medical decisions to Gates. Why him? Why? Because he's got money? Because he had some success with a computer company? Are you kidding me? I think I'll pass. Big T, I saw that. Big T's got a theory here. Just saying. Was recorded saying it last week in Davos. A lot of bad things happened at that meeting. And of course, you don't hear about it. Good job digging around on that, because that's not something you're going to hear on mainstream media. You're going to hear about Britney Spears' wedding, and the dysfunction that's there. You're not going to hear about the important stuff. They're doing it kind of behind the curtain or in the darkness, because that's where freedom dies, in the darkness. Didn't know that, Dave. If adult diapers be okay, I thought you said they had become hard to get. Will Biden finally, I ruined the joke. Will he admit the problem of shortages? No, they'll just go house to house and commandeer everybody else's adult diapers. This is how Biden thinks. Or he'll just print off money and get some duct tape and make his own. Yeah, somebody said stay away from Susan. Stay away from self-checkouts. I'm not a fan of self-checkouts for many different reasons. Number one, I ain't employed there. And if you're going to do the work yourself, you should get a discount. They don't give you a discount. So that's my number one gripe. Number two, we're told it's more convenient, it's quicker. Pretty much all of them that I see have a huge line. So that's nonsense. And then, as you're saying, number three, the tracking. you almost always have to use a card now. So there's nothing in the middle there. You can't buy under the radar. FJB for ordering CRT in charter schools. FJB for many things, many things. Two-wheeled prepper. Yeah, Tim, you're right. They track you easier. I mean, you know, self-checkout card only. Okay, well, your card's attached to your whole identity, and you're buying all these items. Now they got you. Now they know exactly what you bought. Cameras, somebody said, yeah. Cameras as well. There's cameras all over the place, but yeah. Even with the masks on and stuff, they still got you. Worminati, I've been in stores before, and it's my own fault. I didn't realize no lines were open. I just wasn't paying attention. Home Depot's notorious for this. You go in, I'm not paying attention. I get some stuff. I get up to the front. There's no lines open, and they're pointing. There'll be a group of 4 or 5 employees up there talking, and they point to self-checkout, and I'm like, nah, son. And I just literally sit the stuff down and leave. I ain't spending money on that. Peter, they tried banning cash during the lockdowns in New Zealand. I still paid cash. Really? Well, yeah, you're definitely on the right channel. A bunch of people up in here that don't comply, and won't comply. Jan, how are you doing? Sam's, they're doing the U scan with your phone to avoid going through the checkout line. That little card is linking. Yeah, same with the self-checkout and all of I don't have my phone, it's over there, but like the Apple Pay and stuff, I ain't interested in none of that. Cash, give them a fake number at the hardware store and stuff. Hey, look, give them what is that old 80s song? 8675309. Give them that number. Most of these younger kids, they don't know nothing about that smoke. Sarah, prepper trucker. Same, I just buy whatever's a good deal after work and stash it. And please don't take tonight's live stream. Don't rush out and spend thousands of dollars on food, okay? That's not the intent, but I just want to let you know that if this is happening early next year in Norway, again, that intel is linked down below in the video description. At some point next year or the year after, they're going to try and implement a similar program. I don't know what it'll be called. I don't know what the hustle will be. They'll try it here with the food getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So just trying to accumulate slowly. Not to be trying to scare anybody tonight or anything. I do too. Pastor Corwin, I hate the stores that ask if you want your receipt emailed. Tommy Two-Tone, yes, thank you. I couldn't remember. What's the link for the Twitter? It should be down below, Dynamite. And I'll be honest with you, I blast book links out over there, and then in between, I just mess with liberals. Like, that's my whole existence on Twitter. I just mess with them and try and debate them when I'm bored, you know. It's what I do over there. I shouldn't be on Twitter at all. That place is a liberal echo chamber, but there are a few conservatives over there that are still, setting stuff on fire. Not literally, but. I saw that, Philip. I saw that. I saw a few of the photos and I said, man, this really don't look like, if you're talking about the militia, I said, this really doesn't look like the normal militia. These guys are a little too clean cut, if you know what I mean. Kelly says, I don't plan meals anymore. Just see what's on sale and work with it for the week. Our meals have changed somewhat here. We're still eating meat and stuff, but we have some of the recipes my wife has done in the past have switched up. We're eating some of the cupboard, if you will, down, trying to get rid of some of that stuff and then replacing it with what we can afford to replace it with. We do have, if you follow me on Instagram, I'll throw some pictures on there in the next couple of days. Cucumbers seem to do better than anything else right now. We got those jokers popping up. We got some tomatoes, and probably next up is going to be the peppers. So I'll post some pictures of that stuff. She's going to be canning most of it. Paradise Acres. July 4th weekend may be the tipping point. I'd not even considered July the 4th. That's a really good comment. I'm thinking, midterm elections. I'm forgetting all about, shouldn't be. I'm sorry, but I wasn't thinking about July the 4th. That could be a tipping point. They hate that flag. They hate that flag. They hate the national anthem. They hate the fireworks going up and the sense of freedom. They don't like it. So set off fireworks and fly the flag. You heard it here first. Casey Littlehouse says that date's on her radar as well. Let's see here. Duckman, tracking canning jars. According to the intel, just food at this time, but the canning jars and stuff, if you're using a credit or a debit card, or you're using like a store discount card, they're going to know that you have them. Somebody said the audio is a little bit staticky. I think I'm going to break down and get a new microphone, guys. Brian Keith, what's up? Probably one of the most banned men right here on YouTube. What's going on, brother? I linked it down below. I covered it at the very beginning, but early next year, brother, they're going to be implementing a program nationally where they're going to be tracking all food purchases. There's no way around it once they implement it. And I was telling the folks in here earlier, if there's not resistance to it over there, it doesn't seem like there's going to be resistance to it. You can bet these tyrants and thieves that are in power here are going to be trying it soon enough. That flag flies every day. Yeah, William, I got a pop filter out there. I was just being lazy. I was sitting here earlier writing, and I said, hey, I'll just set the stuff up in here. No, Buckeye, you are not ghosted in here. You are on a list with the rest of us. So anyway, I'm going to jet unless y'all have anything else. I saw McBean in here. I saw Casey Littlehouse in here, both excellent channels. William Ashley was in here. He's got a great channel here on YouTube. You see here. The Hillbilly Kitchen, somebody said. I'm going to close with this because I'm about to tell y'all how redneck I am, and I should say how cheap. It really has nothing to do with being a redneck. When I first got started and I was talking about the 80s and writing and nobody cared, I had like 30 subscribers, I used part of a tube sock as a pop filter. I'm not kidding you on that. And it worked just fine. It was an audio only podcast for a while, and it works. But it doesn't look too good once you turn the camera on. So I did break down and get an actual pop filter. But anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. Maybe shoot a thumbs up on your way out the door or down, and consider subscribing if you've not done so already. Monday morning, I'm shooting for a live stream. So anything y'all want to cover, just drop it in the comments and let me know. I'll watch the replay or email, shoot a message on Patreon, whatever the case. Until Monday morning, y'all take care and God bless.